Hello everybody, we are going to do an EFT tapping video today on negative thinking patterns. Most of these patterns are going to have to do with cognitive behavior patterns and how to reframe them. So feel free to take a drink of water beforehand and we'll meet at the side of the hand. And just feel free to repeat after me. Today I'm going to work on these negative thinking patterns that I sometimes do and I don't even realize it. But today I am going to work on those and all the different ones that come up with this issue. Like the annoying all or nothing thinking, and seeing things only as good and bad and not really seeing that there is a distortion between them and therefore feeling that something is not what you want, then it's nothing that you want. All or nothing, baby. And it's super frustrating when it comes to day-to-day things like getting things done, going to the grocery, or maybe somebody cutting me off on the freeway. And even though I have this negative thinking pattern, I deeply and completely love and accept and forgive myself. Because sometimes it's my it's my ADHD brain trying to protect myself, and I acknowledge that protection and I appreciate that, but it's not always needed. I know it's coming from that neuros thing in the back of your head that makes up the triggers and anxieties. But I choose to let this go today. And there's ways that I can reframe. But to reframe, you need to identify all the things, all the negative thinking patterns that are going on. And I'm choosing to deeply and completely love and accept and forgive myself and let go of these negative patterns, negative thinking patterns that are no longer serving me and my higher self. Okay, we're gonna start on the top of our head. My brain likes to come up with these negative thinking patterns. And they show up in different ways. Like, sometimes they can show up in my all or nothing thinking, where everything is black and white. And if it's something that I'm going for and it doesn't happen, then nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna be stagnant. And it'll probably involve with some emotional reasoning and believing that because I feel something, it must be true, even when there's no other evidence other than the feeling. For example, I feel lonely. Therefore, I guess nobody likes me. But what an untrue sentence. That emotional reasoning will come up with lies to tell you. And another negative thinking pattern I sometimes do is over a generalization. Like taking one negative event or detail about the situation and making a universal pattern that it is a truth about my whole life. For example, like that other one, this person didn't want to hang out with me. And thinking, no one ever wants to hang out with me. It's kind of like the thinking pattern of labeling. Like putting a negative label on yourself or someone else so that you no longer see that person behind that label. When you lock someone in their place, your understanding becomes so rigid that there's no wiggle room to see that person differently. In other words, putting yourself in a box. These thinking patterns kind of go hand in hand, but fortune telling and like before the event even happens, predicting something is going to turn out in a negative way. This can be a very pessimistic way of viewing the future, and it can also impact your behavior, making the event you're fortune telling more likely to turn out badly. And alongside that, mind reading. Assuming you know and understand what another person is thinking, and typically being sure it reflects poorly on you. And going alongside each one of those, catastrophizing and taking a problem into something negative and blowing it up and out of proportion. All these patterns can be identified as cognitive distortions, and in a way that's not judgmental. When you learn to notice the distortions in your thinking, you're in a much better place to help someone else notice theirs and notice your own. Because the act of noticing them and making corrections with levity and self-compassion is usually the best medicine. And if you're making many cognitive distortions, as in this video, if your thinking is rigid, the expectations are chronically going to be negative, or the feelings are too strong for them. Then maybe you can also reach out to experts about the next steps and what to do in order to fix this negative thinking patterns. But with noticing the variety in thinking patterns, you're more able to dictate which thinking patterns aren't working for you in that moment. And you can also evaluate your thoughts and evaluate your emotions and think what actual facts are in this situation. And ask, is there a reframe that I can apply? And also being able to reframe your thoughts. You can practice compassion. Give yourself grace and patience. Treat yourself as your best friend would. And choose to deeply and completely love and accept and forgive yourself. Because you're doing the right thing by being here right now and doing this tapping. And so it is. I hope hope you have a magical day, and I hope that helped you. Feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to book a session with me for a one-on-one. Have a wonderful day.